Hi gamers, mums and dads. Today we have recorded a Pokemon Go video. Now we've not played this game for a year, maybe even two. But today the 4th generation has come out, as you can see from the top. We've got the 1st generation, the Kanto, then the Johto came out, which most people were still playing when those two were around. Then it sort of dropped off a little bit with the introduction of the new gyms. And now we have the 3rd and the 4th generation. So we've been playing it a couple of weeks. We've picked up 65 Pokemon from the Hoenn 3rd generation. And today, the Sinnoh generation has come out, the 4th one. And we've managed to find 7 just on the score run. So you might not have played this game for a long time. We haven't. We've just got back into it. And this video is really just to tell you what's new. So if you played it a lot before, it's pretty much the basic gameplay as usual. So we've got the map, etc., and you get your Pokemon by tapping on it, and you can do the usual things. So you can catch it by curveball or by just a normal throw. Now, one thing that you'll notice different is it's raining there in the background. There's a lot of weather in the game now, which gives you bonuses. So for example, what you'll see is you can see that we've got a 25 extra bit of Stardust there with the umbrella, and if we go into a battle with this when the weather is correct, so if it's raining and you've got a water one, I guess that's pretty much how it works, then you get an extra percentage on your attack. So weather is the first thing, so you more Stardust and better attacks. The game is pretty much the same as you saw. We're probably going back to the 2nd generation now, really, or when, well, pretty much from the start, let's say. It's not changed that much. But one thing that you'll have seen pop across when I caught that Pokemon was a little reward. Now, this orangey binoculars down the bottom right give you some rewards. So what you can do is when you go to a Pokestop now, you collect these little missions. Now, I've got a couple of rewards there, which I'm just saving them up because I'll sort of click on them tomorrow, etc. But you can see on October 13th, 14th, 16th and 17th, not sure what happened to the 15th, we completed a mission. Now, when you get to the box on the right-hand side, you get a really good Pokemon, usually a mythical. So I'll show you the two that we've got over the last 2 weeks. I think it actually stays around for about a month. So we just caught the back end of the last one, and we've got a couple of this one here. So if I hit claim reward on there, if it was tomorrow, it will say October the 18th at the top and number 5, but I've already collected one today, so I'll save them tomorrow just in case we don't do enough to claim the reward. But as you can see, collect 5 Pokemon with weather boost. It's not exactly too difficult, really. So if it's raining, catch the water ones. You can actually see that they've got a weather boost because there's a little circle around the Pokemon. I don't think there's any around at the moment. As you can see, it is raining, which is definitely different. Now, the biggest change, and one that I was not that keen on when it happened, were the gyms. So we can see a few gyms here in Homforth Town. Now, in the old days, you used to have a up to level 10 gym where the better Pokemon battled and the best ones came out on top, etc. Now, there's no training of gyms anymore, and the ability of your Pokemon doesn't really matter that much. So if this is a red team gym, I'm a blue team. So if I'm a red team gym, if I walk to this gym, I can put a Pokemon in. As long as there's less than 6 players and it's your colour, you can pop it in. Now, if I walk to this gym, and unfortunately my Elgato cable is only 2 metres, so I'm not going to get the 1,000 metres to the drill hall. But if I wanted to battle this little sort of battle button on the right-hand side at the just above the circle, so it's got 2 little circles and a sort of a star. That's the battle. If I click on it, I will battle these Pokemon. Now, you can see they've got hearts above them. This is the CP they've got left. Unlike the old gyms, this is not their full CP. When you stay in a gym now, that CP gradually lowers. I think they call it enthusiasm of the Pokemon. So when the Pokemon's been in there a couple of days and you haven't given it a treat, that heart will come right down to 0 and they will get knocked out of the gym. Now, if I went to battle this, I take them on at their current enthusiasm levels, which is about half on here. So what I'll probably have to do is battle this gym twice for both of them because we're about half. If they're full, you have to take them out 3 times, and if they're really low, then just once we'll take them out. So the worst gym will be 6 Pokemons all maxed out, so you're going to have to defeat 18 Pokemon. It's not too bad, but it's just not. It just doesn't seem the same as the old gyms, because in the old gyms, if you had a great Pokemon with high CP, then you'd be king of that gym, and I could put a Weedle of 50 CP in here and it would last just as long pretty much as that Blissey. Well, who is a great defender. So if you ever want to defend a gym and you're on your own, pop Blissey in if you've got one. Now, say if you want to improve their enthusiasm, when you walk up to that gym, a little sign appears, a treat button. You can click on that and give them treats. Now, treats are like raspberries, which were in the game in the first place. But before I come on to that, the only good thing about these gyms, I think, these days are, if we pop down here underneath your main statistics, you can see the gym badges that you get. If I just click on a list. Now, you can see that some on here are bronze, like this one. Some are silver, like this one, and some are gold. Now, it does take quite a bit to get a gym to a gold, but every time you do something with a gym, you get points. If you put a Pokemon in a gym, you get 100 points. If you battle a gym, you get 100th of the CP of the Pokemon. So if it's 1,000 CP Pokemon, you'll get 10 points for beating them. If you give a treat, you get 10 points, etc. And they all add up. And a raid, which we'll come on to, if you do that at a gym, you'll get 1,000 points. Now, to get to silver, you need 4,000, and to get to gold, you need 30,000. And you can see we've got 3 gold gyms at the moment. Now, the good thing about gold gyms is that when you go to a gym, let's pop back onto, shall we have a look at a different one? When you go to the gym, you'll see at the bottom right hand corner there's a little circle. Now, that is a Pokestop. So I can a gym now, every gym you can also use as a Pokestop. So if I click on there and spin it, I'll get some gifts. Now, if it's a gold gym, you get 3 or 4, and if it's your daily bonus or even your weekly bonus, you'll get hundreds of little items. So you can get even 30 or 40 if it's your weekly bonus on a gold gym. So they're very useful to have. So the gold gyms, if you click on there and collect it, you'll get a few things. If it's just a normal gym that you've not been before, you'll get 2 or 3 things just like a normal Pokestop. But I say you can get 6, 7, 8 on a normal day, and if it's your bonus, then that can double or even treble. So that's the gyms. Say if you wander around and you see a load of blue gyms with only 5 or less people in, you can pop Pokemon in. Now, one big disadvantage of the gyms these days is that it's a 50 coin limit per day. In the old days, if you were in 10 gyms, you could collect 100 coins every 16 hours when your timer ran out. Now, it's just a case of when they get knocked out, you get so many coins, depending on how long they've been in there. I don't exactly know what the routine is. I think it might be a coin an hour or 10 coins an hour, something like that they're in the gym. But the maximum you can get is 50. So if you've got 5 or 6 Pokemon in a gym, you'll get 50 coins a day. And unfortunately, in the shop, the prices of everything else have stayed the same. So pretty much to get the coins for free, the game has become a lot more expensive in that way. Now, you might notice a super incubator. That's the only difference with eggs. In fact, sorry, there's 2 differences with eggs. So if we just go onto the Pokemon. So there's our Pokemon, which we'll scroll down shortly. We have our eggs. Now, there's 2k, 5k and 10k eggs like before, but now there is a new 7k egg, which has interesting Pokemons in it. For example, you could get the Pokemons that are worldwide, or in certain countries like Taurus, it's only available in America, that could pop up in a 7k egg. And the super incubator will reduce the walking distance of each egg by 1/3. So if we use a super incubator, if we had one, it would take the 5k egg down to, what's the maths, 3.3k, etc. To hatch eggs is just normal, you just walk around. The 10k eggs do seem to be a bit rarer these days, which I suppose is a good thing, and they do have pretty decent Pokemon in them. Now, the other thing that gyms is, if I just click on the bottom right, you can see, as per before, where the Pokemon, there is this raid button, but there's none nearby. But what you'll see if there's a raid coming is, instead of the Pokemon at the top, that you can see just popping up here, you will see an egg. And an egg has 1 to 5 stars. 5 stars is legendary. And currently, if you see a legendary egg, when it hatches, it will have the MewTwo ready to battle. Now, what a raid is it's a single Pokemon. For example, it could be Dragonite, but the thing is, it's a massive version of that Pokemon. So instead of having a CP of 2,000, if it was Dragonite, it would have a CP of, say, 30,000. What's the intention is that you and your friends go to the raid and you all battle it at the same time. If you win the raid, then there's a chance of you catching that Pokemon. And as we say, there's currently an event on. If it's a legendary egg, then MewTwo will give you the option, but it's over 60,000 CP to take down. We've not actually had the ability to do it yet, other than just me and Alexander and the 2 of us. we probably took about 15,000 off it. We got nowhere near the 60,000 that we needed. So you probably need 5 or 6 players to get the MewTwo. And once you get the MewTwo, it's only a 3% chance of actually catching it if you do a normal throw with the balls that you've got there. If you do an excellent curveball with a golden raspberry, I think it goes up to about 12-13%. So it's not guaranteed you'll get the MewTwo, but you have to battle a raid to get them. There's no other way of getting them in the game. So raids are pretty good. You get lots of XP and Stardust, etc., and you've also get the new items with them. But to do a raid, you need a raid pass. So if I go into my items, if you go to a Pokestop in a day, they're pretty easy to get. You can get a raid pass or a premium raid pass, which you can buy or also collect. Now you may notice some new things in the items. I think Max Revive was around at the beginning, but you'll see a charged TM. There's a couple of these, and it just lets you change the attack that your Pokemon has. There's rare candy which you get from raids. Now I can use that candy for any Pokemon I want. So if I wanted it to be Dragonite or Tyranitar, I could use that candy to upgrade them. There's a star piece which increases your Stardust, and a gift which you can give your friends. Now you actually have friends in the game, which I'll show you shortly, and you can trade Pokemon. There are restrictions on it, but that's the case. So also you've got the Pineapple Berry, which came in Gen 2, you get more candy if you use that. The Golden Raspberry, which makes Pokemon a lot easier to catch. And there's also a Nana Berry, I think it's called, which slows your Pokemon down or stops it from moving all over the place. You also have the special items which you need to evolve certain Pokemon. Metal Coats, King's Rock, etc. Now, one thing that's worth mentioning on the special events is there's 2 of them coming up. Now, if you want to catch Mew, then you have to complete one of these tasks. And there's another mythical discovery where you can catch the other Pokemon. I'll show you what it's called shortly. But again, they're both mythical Pokemon. If you're going to do this, my only advice would be do not evolve a Magikarp or an Udish. Just collect the candy and just keep it for when you do those missions, because one of the missions in these, and there's 8 sort of phases each game, or 7, and the 8th is the completion, is that you have to do certain things, and one of them is evolve a Magikarp. So if you've got 410 candy currently before this comes, and you evolve it, you'll go back to 10, and you'll have to go all the way back up to 400. You can't sort of say, I've already done it once. It's from when the tasks start. So if you've got a lot of candy, just hold on to it until you get these games. You might see when we go through our Pokemon that we haven't evolved a couple of the Pokemon, just in case on the next special, I think it might be a Halloween one or a Christmas one that's bringing out, you'll be able to catch, I think it's, it used to be, it's like a mythical Pokemon that looks like a wingnut, or just a nut and bolt. If I go into news, I think he's on here, this guy here. Meltan, so the new special reward will get us Meltan there. So there's lots of news here which you can catch up on if you've not seen it already. You can see this is the Pokemon at the moment that you get on the daily research. So Suicune, we've got a couple of them now, and as you can see here is MewTwo. Now there is a super raid or an X raid that do it, which you have extra special Pokemon. MewTwo used to be in that, but that was while we weren't playing the game. Now we've got Deoxys that's in the X raids. Now you need a special invite to go to an X raid, and we haven't had one of them, so we can't tell you much about it. But it's a normal raid, but very difficult. But because you're invited to a certain time and date, there's a lot more people that are around. So we talked about friends. You can say you've got 4 friends here. I won't dwell too much on them just in case they don't want to be shown. But when you click on friends, you can, if you're within 100 meters, you can trade Pokemon with them. So if you're short of one, or haven't caught a certain Pokemon and they have 10, then you can swap them over and trade for something else. Now you can only do one special trade a day, and you need to, as you can see from the top here, you can see there's 4 circles next to each person. You have to have all 4 circles as best friends to do trades in mythical Pokemon. Now even me and Alex have only got to 2 circles yet, so it does take a bit of time to get a best friend. Just scrolling through the game then, so we've got the normal badges. You can see we have walked quite a bit since we started this game, 2,044 kilometres, so we're a lot fitter thanks to Pokemon Go, and it has to be a good thing for that if nothing else. So this is a 4th generation, hopefully a lot more people will pick it up in the fact that it has got a load of new Pokemon in. So if we go onto the Pokemon, and we look at the number, you'll see all the Generation 1 are at the top. Most of these are the pretty common ones. You can see Pikachu's got different hats on. We've got a party hat, and we've got a zapping hat. You can buy these for your own character as well. And I think we've also got a Christmas hat, so different Pikachus in different forms. You may also know that some are male and some are female as well. You see this Pikachu's got a straight tail, and this one's got sort of a love heart tail, because that's a female, and that's a male. We don't really dwell too much on male or female. Some Pokemon have 6 or 7 different sort of states. You can see this Pikachu here has got bubbles across him. Now that makes him a lucky Pokemon. So if you catch a lucky Pokemon or get it in a trade, which tends to be the more likely, you'll see that the Stardust that you need to power him up is a lot less. So this is 400 here, it's reduced. Unfortunately the candy is the same, but the Stardust to get him to a better level is a lot lower than normal. So that's your lucky Pokemon. In terms of when you transfer Pokemon to your friends, you cannot transfer that Pokemon again forward on, so you can't just keep moving it back and forward. So here's Udish. As you can see, we can evolve him into a Gloom, if I remember right. We don't have one of them. But from Gloom, you can evolve it into the Vileplume, but what the mission that you've got in the special one is to go the other way and transfer, or sort of evolve them into a Blossom. So you need 125 candy from scratch to do that, so it takes a bit of time. You can also see that we have a Persian Gen 1 here, and we also have a Persian which I think is Gen 3, this one here. I'm not exactly sure how you can tell the generations, apart from that they look different, but I don't know whether that's a Gen 3 or a Gen 4. I think it's a Gen 3 because we caught it a couple of days ago before Gen 4 was officially out. So these Pokemon are quite recognisable for most of the older players. But if we pop down into the second generation, so this is still first generation, you can see again Executor has 2 types, one with a long neck, which is off the screen, and one with the short, the fat guy. So you can see the 2 there. Again, that's a Generation 3 sort of variant of a theme. You don't get a Pokemon in your Pokedex because of it. Babies were out as well in Generation 2. We have a few of those. We've got plenty of Eevees. And I suppose our best Generation 1 Pokemon is the Dragonair, or it's a Dragonite. I'm not sure why we've changed the name, but there's 3387 CP, which isn't too bad. These are into the Gen 2 now. There's still shiny Pokemon. You can see this Meganium here is a shiny one. It's a slightly different colour than the normal one. So that's green and that's sort of off green. Not too big difference. I mean, with the magic, the shiny, a good one to show in the shiny is the Evolve Magikarp. So I can never pronounce it, that's why I'm not. But you can see one's red and one's blue, so wrong button, red. So the Gyarados is red and that one is blue. So that's a shiny there. So there's more shinies in the game. We've also got the babies, which you may have seen, so you can get a little baby Pokemon, which is easy to evolve. They used to come out of 2k eggs. I have not seen one for a bit. This is a Blossom, which you need to evolve the Udish twice to, and that's one of the missions in the special. So keep that Udish candy, do not spend it willy-nilly. And there's also 2 more forms of the Eevee, the Espeon and the Umbreon. And if you go through one of the missions, the Ripple in Time mission, I think it is, you'll be able to evolve both of those. It shows you how to do it. You have to walk as a friend and then evolve one at night and one in the day. So here are the Gen 2 Pokemon. And there's the Blissey, which is very good. Here are the 2 mythical Pokemon that we got through the daily research. So the Entei, we've got 3 of those. And the Suicune. I've tried to transfer one of those to Alexander, but it won't let me because he's not a best friend. And our best Generation 2 Pokemon, I guess, is Tyranitar. And 3,406 CP, it's not bad. So here are the Celebi. That's the mythical Pokemon that you get from the other special mission. I just couldn't remember his name. Now into the Generation 3 Pokemon. I say we've not got all of these. There's nothing too special in here. What we do like is this Aggron is a pretty hefty Pokemon. We've not even powered him up, we just caught him that way. 2737. We like the Whalmer, and there's a shiny Whalmer there. He's our buddy because we need 400 candy. It's a bit like the the Magikarp, you need 400 candy to evolve him up. There's a couple like that in Generation 3. So he's our buddy, so we walk around with him. If buddies is new as well, then all you need to do is you attach a Pokemon as a buddy, and then when you walk so far, each Pokemon's different, you get a candy after a certain distance. Now this, again, is a Swablu, and that also is a 400 to evolve. So to say, there's a couple in this game. If I page down now, this cast form, as you can see, there's a normal one, and here is a sunny one. So depending what weather you catch him in, he's a different form. We've only got the 2, but I thought that's a nice little neat thing. Now this is Generation 4, so what have we caught today? So generations tend to follow a path. You have the grass, water and fire as the first 3, which looks like 25 candy, then 100 to get to the 3rd evolved. So we've got a start, and so our highest or our biggest number is our Boonery. I guess it's a take on a bunny. 816 CP is not bad for that little bunny. So that's the Pokemon. And looking in the Pokedex, we've got 7 of the Sinnoh region. So if I go all the way down to the bottom, there's 426 Pokemon now needed. So I hope this is a nice interview. Comment down below and we'll happily add as much. We've just got back into it ourselves, so we've probably missed a few things out. But if it gets you out and about and gets you fit, even though it's the winter months here, then please do, and we'll hope to see you in a raid or a gym sometime soon. There's also like friends groups on Facebook, like community pages, which we've just joined the Humfirth one to see if there's other people that want to do raids with us, and so we're on there, and hopefully we'll get the Mewtwo before he disappears. Oh yes, Mewtwo. What I didn't show you was I guess the hardest to get Pokemon in here before Mewtwo. It's right at the bottom of Generation 1. And here we are. We've got Mew. Yay! You can't put mythical Pokemon in a gym, which I think is odd, but, because it takes so long to get them. But there you go. You can battle gyms with them, but you can't put them in a gym. So that is Mew. Very cute. Bit Hunter-esque. Anyway, well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Enjoy the game.